almost feel like Gordon Bombay would have taken his career to even further heights.
Everything's flashy, everything's cocaine, everything's fun.
Open wide for some soccer!
I don't care what your personal thoughts are at home. I care that you hate the Cowboys.
Call this college rule!
Welcome, everybody, to the Sports Experience Podcast. I'm Chris. This is Dom. We're just a couple of comics living here in Tucson who love sports. And if you could do us a favor, give us our YouTube channel a sub for Dom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we were trying to get those subs up.
Trying to get those Doms down.
Trying to get those Doms down. You know what I'm talking about. Now, who are we talking about today?
Oh, man. We're talking about quite an individual here. Actually, This episode is brought to you by a listener suggestion.
Nice.
So, yeah, Jen thought of it.
Oh,
and told
nice.
me about it.
Awesome.
So, we were talking about Mr. Dallas Cowboy.
Yes.
Right now. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
No, well.
Well, I mean, like, you know how we feel about the Cowboys on this podcast.
There you go.
But I got a soft spot in my heart for this guy. Who do we got, Chris?
And I'm going to call him what I want to call him for the rest of the show, which is Dandy Don.
Hell yes.
And he is, without a doubt, I knew he was a tough quarterback. The toughest. I can't even imagine all of these injuries and all of this stuff that he went through being the Dallas Cowboy, not original quarterback, but like the first like star quarterback in this like horrible Cowboys team that took them and made them, you know.
Oh, yeah, no.
The Cowboys.
They wouldn't be America's team without Dandy Don, if you didn't really think about it.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, we'll get into it as how, like, the slapstick way in which they were created. But Don Meredith, Dandy Don, born April 10th, 1938, as Joseph Donald Meredith in Mount Vernon, Texas. It's about 100 miles east of Dallas. His parents, Jeff and Hazel, ran a dry goods store and lived on a farm with his older brother, BJ.
And he was kind of in his brother's shadow growing up, even though they were both star athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It was, we see this a lot, the younger brother playing with his older brother, and he ends up being like the star.
Oh, for sure. And you know what's wild? Growing up, he had polio.
I thought that was insane. You see that, and you're just like, oh, all right.
Take that, Hot Wheels Delano Roosevelt. Dandy Don's a man. He's 40. But he like, you can't believe this guy's going to be an athlete. But
Yes.
he was like would tag along with his older brother everywhere. Like the age gap was big enough where like you wouldn't be friends with him at school. But it's like we need an extra guy.
Yep.
You
And
know,
that
play
became
sports.
his first nickname. Was his brother nicknamed him Tagalong.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. He loves sport. He was a 3-sport athlete, though. Football, obviously, his favorite, and was apparently a pretty good basketball player. I don't know if you read anything about that.
In high school, I saw that his whole town would come out to watch him play. So just to like set this up, he was a star in this small town, and I think he dropped like 50 in one game in high school. So like it's interesting to see because this is before, when he's in high school, this is before people were really playing professional football, really playing like
Basketball too.
It's at, that's what I mean. It's at the start of these, and I wonder if he would have picked basketball, or because he said this many a times. He was like, I love football. That's my favorite sport, but you just never know what direction they would have went in if he was born 10 years later.
Oh yeah, 10 years later, he was born in a different state.
Oh, that too.
Like
that 100%
Texas,
too.
like you're gonna get that choice kind of made for you.
Yep.
Despite it said he could shoot with any hand.
Yep.
He could have been the first white Harlem Globetrotter. Dandy Don. He already has a nickname.
He already has the name.
God damn it. So they're at Mount Vernon High School. Like I said, 3-sport star. And looking to kind of start a college football career. And he has a lot of choices in Texas of where to go. His older brother, BJ, is a Texas Christian.
Yep.
He said he thought about law school, and UT Austin had a very good law school. But no, he goes to a place that had the death penalty later. Much later, but,
Yes.
you know.
He goes to SMU. And my favorite thing, because he obviously said this jokingly when they asked why, because they were not a football, they weren't any kind of like on any map of being a football program, or even in that era.
Doak Walker's playing for the Lions.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what's happening.
And he said it was close to home and easy to spell.
Like for Texas A&M.
Yeah. It's so good. And that's the thing that people say is he was the hardest. Like, he would play the hardest, but he also was like having the best time out there. And he was constantly just like that personality that you would always want. You know what? He's a glue guy.
He's a glue guy.
And that's why we got
glue
him.
or weld. We'll get into that later. But so he's on the freshman team in 1956. Was so down on the depth chart, he was playing linebacker in their 5-4 defensive scheme.
Yeah, so he just wasn't looked at as their quarterback or really like in the conversation of it, really.
So in 1957, he's a sophomore. He's 7th on the depth chart, but a bunch of guys just like get hurt or do another sport or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
And he starts at Texas on November 2nd, 1957, and threw 2 touchdown passes in a 19-12 win. That year, he led the Southwest Conference in completions and attempts, passing yards, and touchdowns, even though they were like a 500 ball club.
Yeah.
It's still pretty impressive.
Still pretty good.
Pretty goddamn impressive.
Well, it's this thing that people do now, like kids do now when they pick a college. They're like, I'm going to be the focal point of this offense and really show everybody that I can be a quarterback. That's not why he necessarily went there, but it did play out that way where they were like, no. We're just going to let Dandy Don take us as far as he's going to take us.
Oh, shit. So in 58, he leads the Southwest Conference in rushing touchdowns. They go 6-4 and are ranked number 8th overall. So getting a little bit over that mediocrity hump.
Yep.
And then in 59, he leads the Southwest Conference in completions, attempts, and yards and touchdowns. And 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting that year. I thought was pretty cool.
Yep. So he definitely was a great college quarterback. You got I think he made College Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at it from him being a freshman and even sophomore, he was not even in the conversation really as a quarterback. And then they were like, this guy's really good.
And he was kind of a dual threat for the time. He could pass and run with the ball.
Yep.
And his kind of swashbuckling nature, well, let's just say Tom Landry might not be a fan of it. I did read that after the season, I guess they used to do this, is they would play the college all-star teams would play the just present national or football champions.
Oh, yeah.
So they played the Colt. Could you imagine them doing that nowadays?
That would be awesome.
Oh, God. But coming out of college, he's 6'3", he's 210 pounds, a strapping young man. And, well, he does something before the draft that I thought was pretty interesting.
What'd he do?
Well, so as we're leading into the 1960 NFL draft, in 1959, the American Football League has started up operations. And they've started up operations in cities, excluding Los Angeles and New York, where there are no NFL teams. And the NFL is scared shitless. And they decide that they want a team in Dallas, like the Dallas Texans.
Yep.
So before the draft, in November 28th, 1959, he signs a contract with Clint Murchison.
So they're not even a team technically yet.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys aren't even a team, but this is the ownership group that is going to own the Cowboys if they become a team.
Right.
He signs this 5-year deal, not for the Cowboys, but to just in turn work for them with whatever comes down the pipe.
Like he was going to get a job with the owner at his company.
Yes.
Like
if they didn't get if the Cowboys didn't like come to fruition and be like a team, he still had this 5-year contract to work for this. Whatever he even said, he was just like there was like a couple of companies I could have worked for, and in turn go to law school.
Yeah,
that was the other thing. He was like, because professional football is not really a thing.
No, it's not. It's not really a thing. And you know, you leave college, God, you want a job, right?
Yes.
And here's probably a very nice job that you could go to law school for probably free.
Yep.
So no, it makes sense that he'd do this, especially because you know SMU's in Dallas.
Yep.
It's not like gonna have to go very far. So they hold the 1960 though NFL draft on November 30th, 1959, and There's only like, 10, 12 teams. There's like 12 teams in it. So he goes in the third round, which is 32nd overall. And he's not picked by the Cowboys because they don't have enough of their shit together to participate in the draft. So he's picked by George Halas of the Chicago Bears.
But then, this is old-timey stuff. The Bears picked him, but then knew that they were going to pretty much give him to Dallas.
Yeah.
So because they were like, he's going to be a star in Dallas, this will help this franchise get off. This is the gentleman's agreement that was kind of going around.
I mean, when you think about it, the Bears are still searching for that quarterback.
That's true.
But
that's true.
The reason, Halas obviously is old and been around as long as the league has existed.
Yep.
Owning the Bears, playing, coaching, whatever. He picked Don Meredith because he didn't want the Dallas Texans to have any marketable stars.
Yes.
He did that as a favor to the league.
Yes,
and
exactly.
To help the league in the aggregate by being like, well, they're going to need good players because, A, they missed the draft. They're going to play this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're very – and, the way they treated expansion teams back in the day was just
it's
terrible.
Brutal. Yes.
I mean, this is a team that was kind of at that 76 creamsicle Bucks level as far as nonsense.
Those first couple of years in Dallas were pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. But he's actually known as, because he signed that professional services contract, as the first Cowboy.
Oh, that's true.
First Dallas Cowboy.
That's true.
Which is pretty goddamn good. Before Tom Landry, Gil Brandt, all those guys, and even the 60 expansion draft.
Yep.
His first season there kind of sucks because he's a backup for a hot minute. He's not the first starting quarterback.
Landry and him butt heads almost right away.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of interesting when you look at it because they've always said they had two different personalities, but it's almost like Don was so good that Landry couldn't deny him. So it's because he doesn't start for like the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then in the third year, he splits time, and the Cowboys are just so bad that it almost doesn't matter because they're almost just kind of like built, like putting pieces into play here. Because
and they're getting good guys. It's just taking a hell of a lot longer because there's no free agency or anything else.
Exactly.
You're literally building from scratch.
Yep.
And, you're taking your time with Dandy Don. Had 26 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. But they're objectively awful. I think 1960 they went 0-11-1.
Yep.
Like, I saw a Dallas sports writer once say, they're the only team that could have lost inter-squad games.
Oh, man.
63, we see a little improvement. They go 4-8 that year, 17 tutties, almost 2,400 yards passing. And then 64 and 65, he goes 12-8-1 as a starter. Now you've started seeing, all the guys Hank Hill talks about on the Cowboys. And it's crazy to think if Landry... He needed 5 or 6 seasons to get shit going. You would never see that in today's NFL.
Oh, no. That first season, he would have been out.
Oh, for sure.
Winless season, he would have been out. And then I saw this because they weren't recording sacks at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And
he was taking a beating.
They said,
God.
His first 2 years, they said he took more sacks than anybody for 30 or 40 years. I think
it was probably David Carr was the next guy.
Dude, I think they said he took 58 in one season, unofficial.
In a 12-game season?
Yes, you know what I mean? So, he was, and this is what I mean by the toughest quarterback ever, he was getting beat up every single game.
No wonder he wore that linebacker face mask for a while. But he was so tough.
Well, they said he broke his nose 20 times, and they were like, "You think we're exaggerating? Like 20? No, he broke his nose all of the time."
Yeah, kind of a pussy, Tony Romo. that's what that says to me. But
hey,
over 64 and 65. 31 touchdowns, over 4,500 yards passing, and in 65 they finished 7-7.
And this
is their first non-losing season.
And then 66, all really clicks. And that's what people were saying this was the first time the Cowboys actually had the pieces in play to be a good football team because they had to, like you were saying, build from scratch and had essentially practice players. You know what I mean? And then
like you didn't even get to draft.
No.
You literally had an expansion roster without a draft class.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's ever happened in the post-1960 modern NFL era.
I doubt it, because they saw how bad that is for teams.
And then they were like, hey, Seattle and Tampa Bay, step right up.
Yep.
Oh, God. Oh, but 66, they go 10-3-1, and he wins the Bert Bell MVP trophy. Is the best player in the league. Makes his first Pro Bowl, career highs in completions, attempts, and yards, touchdowns, and rushing touchdowns. They have the best scoring offense in the league, and since the league has expanded a little bit by this juncture, I think Atlanta and New Orleans have joined the NFL. There's playoffs now.
There's playoffs. It's not just one game.
Yeah, so you got playoffs to go to, a title game against an AFL championship team here.
Yep.
So New Year's Day, 1967, they're at the Cotton Bowl playing the Green Bay Packers, looking to go for 2 in a row.
Yeah, 2 in a row for NFL championship.
Exactly.
And Cowboys were in this game the whole time.
They had some bad mistakes, though.
I was just going to say, but they really, like, you know how sometimes people say, like, they didn't win the game, they lost the game? It felt like the Cowboys lost this one. And if you look at the last play, it's like that is how the whole game was.
It's really sad because Green Bay would pull ahead, and then Dallas would come right back. And
Yep.
then Green Bay would pull ahead a little more, Dallas would come right back. And then they kind of got up on them 34-20. And that was when, and it was a good thing that they did. Dallas, I think, blocked the extra point, because if Green Bay had made the extra point, there's no 2-point conversion.
No.
So
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been able to get down. So they're down 34-27, and they drive down the field with almost no time left. And they're in the red zone, and they make just some absolutely boneheaded mistakes to really set themselves up. Kind of in a bad spot. And with 28 seconds left, Dave Robinson, not the basketball player, but the Packers player, he read that no one was going to block for Meredith on the passing play and completely disrupted it, and he threw a pick in the end zone to end it.
Yes, and they said that, like, I've saw an interview on Cowboys players who were playing then, and they were like, that wasn't Don's fault. That was a scheme mistake, like maybe a Landry fault, because he said, like, nobody was blocking Robinson, and if you watch it, he's just off the line and in his face.
Yeah, like,
so
you're not going to do anything unless you're maybe Michael Vick.
Yes, exactly.
In that situation.
Exactly. So you see him throw the pick. It's heartbreak in Dallas, but there is all this buzz now, and Don is a straight up star in Dallas. That's the thing that why the NFL owners were so smart was they were like, this guy can be a star here.
Yeah.
He's already a star here from being the SMU star, and now that they have a good team, Dallas is looked at as like, oh, this is like a legit team.
Yeah, no, this is a legit team for America, because we're not living in Give Up America.
No.
And I mean, this is the time when you're like, Cowboy metallic blue.
Exactly.
But when the game was on the line, it was to Bullet Bob Hayes and Lance No Pants Ransel. 67, he just makes the Pro Bowl again.
Yep.
Does another fantastic season. Banged up a little bit with broken ribs, and I think he had a collapsed lung.
So I think they were playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he gets hit, and he breaks his rib, and they said the rib went into his lung.
Oh.
So if you could barely breathe at that point, he finishes out the game.
Of course he does, because he's a finisher quarterback.
That it's such a crazy thing to think about nowadays. And like there was a guy on his team that was like, we weren't sure if he was going to get up. Like, not that he wasn't like he was dead or whatever, but they were like, we weren't sure he was going to get up. And he just looked at him and he goes, just put me on my feet. Put him on his feet and sent him right back in.
Oh, put me on my feet, man.
Yes. No, seriously.
So that season I didn't want to add because it's so, I was going through the statistics. I don't know if this had ever friggin' happened outside of maybe the early 50s Rams. Bob Hayes and Lance Rensel each had over 990 yards receiving.
Oh.
In a 14-game
14
fucking
game.
season,
Yeah.
teammates. I was like, and who's slinging him the
And
football?
And he also, Don has this way of throwing the ball where he almost like checks it and then throws it.
Yeah.
I love it. And when he runs, it's like, yeah.
So good. So they had realignment this year, so they're first in the NFL Capital Division.
Okay.
So they got 16 teams, I think. Yes, that's how it worked because we're right before the merger. They go to the playoffs, and in the divisional round on Christmas Eve 67, they lay waste to the Browns.
Yep.
Watching that game, I'm just like, oh, God, make it. No, I'll let it keep going. I'm enjoying it. Fuck Cleveland.
Well, they said it was almost like when you say it's like a team of destiny where like you see them blow out the Browns. They have the Packers in the NFL championship.
52-14.
And they were saying like you could just see that they were a better football team. But then Mother Nature comes into play.
Mother Nature with the assist from some grease ball.
There you go.
So, and I maintain if this game were played on a neutral field, we wouldn't even talking about the greatest game ever. We might not even call it the Lombardi Trophy, Chris.
That's true.
And you know a weird spider web? You know who they would have played if they won in 66? Kansas City.
Oh,
so
really?
It would have been the Texans against the Cowboys.
Oh my
essentially.
God.
That would have been
that's hilarious.
fucking wild, right?
Yes.
Oh man.
Because I'm sure there's still people in Dallas that were like, we're Texan fans.
Yeah,
and they're, oh my God, that would have been so good.
Fuck you, Lamar Hunt. Don't take him away. But anyway, so we get down to it. It's New Year's Eve, 1967, and they're at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. It's a minus 44-degree wind chill. There were holes in the tarp, and I think the coils that were going to heat the field, it ended up contributing to icing it over.
So
And like the field was just an ice rink.
And that's what-
and they call it the ice bowl.
I was just gonna say the players said it was so hard to even go like half speed because you're essentially running on ice. And then they answered the question,
Bob Hayes can't run on ice.
can lightning run on ice? They answered that question, and it turned out to be no. So and that was the thing.
But that was the thing. That was Dallas's strength as opposed to Green Bay.
Yes.
Is the Packers sweep is just built on shoving it up your ass. The Hayes is going. I mean, fastest man alive for how long?
Yes.
Like
that's
going down the field.
Exactly. So they were literally built on being a speed-based team, and then they were like, "We're going to take that away from you because we're going to greaseball it."
I mean, the moisture got caught under the Steelers did that against the Raiders in an AFC Championship game
Nice.
once. They froze the outside of the hash marks. It was
Nice.
such a dick move.
Oh man.
The groundskeeper knew it would happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we get to the game and turnover happy for both teams.
Yep.
I know it's an NFL classic, but it's a lot like that 58 championship game, only if you put it in a freezer.
Yes.
Like mistake prone.
Mistakes.
Big plays, but specifically there was a halfback pass from Dan Reeves which I think to Renzel, which scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they really had to kind of pull out all the gadgets just to kind of stay in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they go up 17-14, and they're in the fourth quarter, and with 50 to go from their own 32, the Packers get it back. And poor Don can't stop them.
He's off the field, obviously. He's the quarterback. And he said this before because he's like, at the end of games, sometimes time kind of slows down.
Yeah.
And he was like, this was the longest. He was like, I could just see it happening. There's nothing I could do to stop it. And it was like time just kept getting slower and slower. And especially the way that Green Bay plays on the ground, jam it straight into the middle, up the nose. And it must have been so brutal.
What they figured out on that last drive is what we talked about with Brady in the Tuck Rule game, is if you watch it, Starr is throwing a lot of screens and a lot of dump-off passes to the running backs.
Yep.
And doubt you can't get your footing, so you can't get after these
exactly.
guys and, correctly pursue.
So they have like a yard before anybody's up on them. So it's literally like just dump pass.
Yeah. So 13 seconds left. Bart Starr runs it in, and Green Bay wins 21-17 and goes to the second Super Bowl at the expense of the Cowboys.
Yep.
And our buddy Dandy Don. But 1968, they're still good. They're still good.
They're still really good.
Over 2,500 passing yards, 21 touchdowns. They go 12-2. They win the Capital Division again. They're thinking, awesome. Lombardi's gone. The Packers blow.
Yep.
There's no one that can shit in our apple pies. But there is.
And you know what? That shit is brown.
It is. Flush it down.
It's sad to think of this game because Don has a horrible game.
Terrible game. Oh, God.
I think he was actually benched towards the end.
Yeah, they put in Morton at the end of this game.
Yeah, so
3 picks.
They're playing the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, he threw 3 picks. Afterwards, they ended up losing to the Browns. Afterwards, he said it was the worst game he ever played, and he'll never forget it. And you could see he kind of carried this loss throughout the rest of his life.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you hear him talk, especially the Ice Bowl game, and you're like, dude, that sucks.
Yes.
I know you played for the Cowboys, and I don't want to root for them, but I would have rooted for you.
Yes, exactly. No, it's, yeah.
They, Cleveland went on, and this is where I don't think, like 67, I would have said they were the best team.
Yes.
They would have had to play that Colts team, that 15-1 juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Namath beat him. Maybe Dandy Don could have beat him.
It's true.
But so after 68, you're thinking like, well, he's only like 30, right? 29, 30 years old, 31.
But, and this is something that I didn't see a lot of people talking about because they were like, it broke his heart when Cleveland beat him, blah, blah, blah. He was the most hit quarterback in this era.
Yeah.
So
you could hit quarterbacks.
That's exactly what I mean. In this era when you were just like decapitating guys. So like for him to play till 30, 31 and then be like, I know, because that was the other thing everybody was saying was just like, we have an unbelievable team. If you stick with it, we think we can win a Super Bowl or just an NFL champion. You know what I mean? And he just couldn't do it anymore.
Think about it. Like I was racking my brain trying to think. Name me a guy who joins an expansion team as a quarterback and has that much success.
Pretty much turns the franchise around and is their like number one star.
I mean, in that era, it doesn't exist.
No.
At all. Maybe Mark Brunell with Jacksonville, but you have the advantage of free agency, multiple teams in the playoffs as compared to then, like extra teams. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that.
No.
Like, and when you see teams who are expansion teams, we did that Tim Couch episode where he got beat to shit. David Carr got beat to shit. Like, it doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen. And I'm so glad you brought that up because, like, that's damn near incredible.
No, it really is. And that's why it's sad to think. I think the Cowboys won it 2 years later.
71, yeah.
Yeah, with Starbuck, but
Starbuck?
Yeah. I'm just,
Roger Starbuck.
It's sad because they were saying like he could have stuck in and been that quarterback, but I think he was just done, not with the game, because then we see him, what I knew him from, which I think a lot of people knew him from, was Monday Night Football. Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think, like you said, he never left the game, but I think he's just like, my heart's broken.
Yes.
Like, as a player.
Like,
I can go up in the booth and joke and be fucking hilarious.
And that's what they said. Him and Howard Cosell was probably the best duo that they could have had at that time. Obviously, they didn't know this of having like an ex-player with all this knowledge of the game, but also like a really fun, like
personable guy.
Yes, and that's what obviously they do now, almost standard.
Yeah,
So it's like
way more entertaining than most of the athlete chuds they put in there too.
Exactly.
Like nowadays, where it's like, oh, here's an empty meat sack.
Yes.
Like
no, he was like one of the best, I would say.
And he doesn't have that smarmy douchiness like a Tony Romo.
No.
No. It was very, I guess folksy is a good word. And kind of him and Cosell played off each other.
Definitely.
Had some very good lines. Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, obviously the thing he's most famous for is singing the Willie Nelson, Turn Out the Lights.
Turn out the
Party's
lights.
Over,
Yep.
Which,
Party's over.
Which is great. And then what was the other one? During a... What was it? Oh, yeah. There was a Cleveland Browns wide receiver named Fair Hooker. And when they brought it up on air, he said, Fair Hooker. Well, I haven't met one yet.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
It's a very norm thing to do.
Yep.
But it was in movies. He was on a lot of made-for-TV movies. I didn't realize till we started doing
Until you
this.
looked at, I looked at that list. I'm like, what the hell?
Police Story? Sign me up, Dandy Don.
But, I mean, he was a star. And that's what everybody said, even when he was in high school, in college, and then as a Cowboy, he was a star. And so it's not surprising that after his football career, he still was in the limelight.
Yeah, and you know what he did, though, with all of it? I had read somewhere. Someone brought it up. It was really good. He did everything, like, on his terms. The way that he wanted to do it. Like, not just like, I'm going to stick around, maybe, ring chase or something like that. Or, I'm going to hang around Monday Night Football until I'm dead.
Yeah.
But no.
No, he ended up retiring and painting.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Awesome.
I wanted to look up how much a Dandy Don original would go for, because, I mean, that would be awesome.
That would be dope. And also, he throws footballs at beer cans at the Superdome.
Well, you see, I didn't take my jacket off.
Because he lived in New Mexico for freaking ever after that.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll give room service a jangle and order up some etouffee.
I love it.
Oh, man, but Don Meredith, before we go, I did want to bring up over 1,700 career passing yards, 135 passing touchdowns, and 15 touchdown rushes in less than a decade for a team that spent half of it in the cellar.
And he's one of the guys that they were saying if he had played today, he would have been a star in the spread offense. Like, that was all the stuff that he was actually, like, really good at. So he was...
Later he handcuffed him. He handcuffed everyone.
Exactly.
He wouldn't allow his guys to call their own plays and shit.
Exactly.
But then December 5th, 2010, ended up dying of a brain hemorrhage, which... God, that's like 15 years ago. That's wild.
Yeah, I know.
Dandy Don, man, one of a kind. Like an absolute... A dandy. Right there.